The Chandler High football team with some lofty goals this fall. The team anxious and with a lot to prove. Coach Rick Gerritsen and the Wolves looking for their first state title since 2020. Tonight they open up the season right here at Austin Field, taking on Cesar Chavez. Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Pequeno. So glad you could join us for a new year of Chandler High football. Well, the Wolves are very anxious and ready and determined after last year's 8-3 season, losing in the first round of the Open Division to Highland High. Tonight, they're back home taking on Cesar Chavez, a squad they beat last year on the road. New season, and the Wolves are ready to get after it. We caught up with starting center Isaiah Garcia. This year, a lot of new faces on offense, but that is experience. You got a veteran offensive line. You're leading the charge. Talk about those big bodies in the trenches, just trying to push everything forward and give you guys a chance to be successful on game day.
Yeah, we got one of the most experienced offensive lines here. And last year we were a really young unit, really unexperienced. But this year we're coming one of the best units out there right now. And I think we're going to be really good. You know, we got all five of us. We got Moose. He's really good. He didn't really get that much playing time last year, but he's a big body. We got Noah Swope. He does his thing. He started for us last year as a sophomore, and he's really good. And then I'm at center. We got Quentin Rael. He started last year, and we got Blake Spear.
Yeah, and when you have a nickname like Moose, you know you're going to be a pretty good football player, right, on the trenches. Give us kind of your thoughts on how good this offense could be. Last year you put up 39 points and a lot of new faces there, but look, with Chandler High, it's all about reloading with great talent as well.
Yeah. This year our goal is to average 42 points, 200 yards rushing, and we're really depending on the offensive line, and we're really depending on the offensive line to lead the charge.
Yeah, the offensive line, of course, it all starts up front, and that being said, it all starts taking on the champions underneath the lights here at Austin Field. What's the energy? What's the buzz like? You're finally here, baby. Finally, game week.
Yeah, we couldn't wait. We can't wait to finally hit someone else because we've been competing. And, yeah, we can't wait for Thursday.
Yeah, you take on the champions. Last year you went to their place and you beat them handily, but like, they got a brand new team, new coaching staff in place. You can't take anyone lightly. Your thoughts of seeing them for the second time in the past 365 days?
Yeah, our leadership coach, Coach Scott, he says to kill an ant with the axe, and that's what we're going to do.
There you go. So being a leader on this team, what's the buzz like, you know, walking around campus and talking to your fellow classmates? And what's the excitement like for, you know, when you're in your class and you've got your classmates and they start talking Chandler High football, and what do you say to them about the year?
We really try to just stay quiet and just, because right now we're kind of the underdogs, and we're just going to go out there and shock people and go put up points and go win. There
you go. That is Isaiah Garcia, a man who's ready to lead the charge, and it happens against the champions. Every year with Chandler, you can expect the defense to be fast, physical, and ferocious. Tonight, they get their first test, taking on the champions. We caught up with linebacker Sean Perez, who breaks it down. Here outside linebacker Sean Perez, the senior, finally game week. What's the excitement like on campus?
Man, you know, we're really excited. We've been building up to this since July. We're just ready to hit somebody else and, you know, fly around to the ball and have fun.
Thing about Chandler High, every year you lose some pieces, but this program, it's not about losing pieces. It's about reloading. How good is this defense going to be?
You know, it's going to be great. You know, we have the same staff, so it's just the players that become new again. And this team is going to be very experienced, especially, you know, on all places of the field. And this team's going to be great, and I'm really excited for it.
And you talk about this team being collectively great. And, you know, when you play for Chandler High, there's expectations and, you know, there's journeys for a lot of players and all these young kids that come into the program. What do you try to tell them about the tradition of Chandler High? And look, you've got to bring it or this won't be the right place for you.
Yeah, we're always told, you know, as a football player, you can have a target on your back. So you always have to, you know, make sure you're very good because you're representing the program and also the football team.
And that being said, for you, you're a senior now. What kind of leadership are you hoping to provide for the team out there defensively?
I was trying to lead them the right way because, you know, they're young, they make dumb decisions, but I'm just trying to make sure they're all right, have their head on straight, and, you know, try to support them as much as I can.
So the champions coming in town. Last year you went to their place and you laid a significant beat down, but look, they've got their share of athletes. They're going to remember that. They're going to come in with some pride, and obviously they're playing for the names on the back of the jerseys and in front. What are you expecting from the champions?
Man, I know they're going to come back, especially after the beating from last year, but, you know, we're not going to lower our standards, and we're going to keep going as hard as we can and try to beat them even more than we did last year.
So for you this year, I'm expecting 60-plus tackles, 5 sacks, and about 4 picks. What do you think?
Sounds great. Probably even more than that.
There you go. Sean Perez, absolutely boom. We'll keep it with the defense. Last year, the unit was so good, giving up just 17 points a game, but as some coaches feel, it wasn't good enough. We caught up with DC Ryan DeRogers, who breaks it down tonight before taking on the champions. Well, Coach, here we are. We're finally getting there. Game week, getting ready to take on the champions. What's the defense looking like as you shape in and get ready for the new season?
We got a lot of new pieces to the puzzle, and it's just about, you know, what we do best and figuring out, you know, all the new pieces. So it's, you know, it's the similar scheme, but it's what we call and how we do it. It's just going to depend on who's out on the field. You know, we don't have the same guys as last year, so it's finding out what we do. Yeah,
but the thing about that, when, you know, players leave Chandler, you don't cry the blues. You just reload with talent because there's great talent that's about to step in and get their opportunity, and they're going to be hungry. So give us some faces we should look out for defensively this year.
I mean, obviously Aiden Browder's a name everybody knows. You know, we got Aiden Browder, Sean Perez at linebacker, Jaime Cuhis at defensive tackle. He's a junior, played a little bit for us last year. Jude Jones is a sophomore that I think can turn some heads. And then secondary-wise, you know, we got AJ Roca as a senior. Got to play our most important middle safety position, and then it's Hamisi Juma at the other safety and Scooby Bradley. I mean, it's going to be a lot of different pieces, but all those guys at any point in the game can cause some havoc and turn the tide in our favor.
Yeah, no question. You'll have the speed and you'll have the talent and the size and strength to inflict some pain and some damage. That being said, the defense allowed only about 17 points last year. How good can this defense be this year?
You know, 17 points a game wasn't good enough last year. You know, we talked about that. You know, that games that, you know, we needed to shut teams down. You know, the Basher game comes to mind. You know, we gave up 40. So, you know, that's a great stat, but it wasn't good enough. So, you know, we talked about our guys. You know, today when we broke, you know, what is the standard? You know, the standard isn't a number. It's, you know, we go out on film. Do we have the standard of Chandler football? And that's what we go with. That's what we're trying to do.
There you go. So that being said, I mean, for this program, it's been a little bit of a while now. It's, you know, that since the team has raised the gold ball, and there's got to be a lot of hunger on campus. Give us the mindset of trying to end the drought and let people out there once again realize that the best program in the state is right here off Arizona Avenue.
Well, this is a class that doesn't know what that gold ball is. Last year, our seniors as freshmen that were brought up got a chance to experience that, myself included. I don't know what it's like. So, you know, for our kids, that they're hungry to figure it out. You know, they don't, you know, they hear the stories, they see the plaques. Now it's time for them to, you know, hopefully step up and add their name to it. You know, and I want to be able to put our kids in the position to do it.
There you go. Go after it, hardcore. So the offense is going to have definitely a new look this year. Quarterback Blake Heffron has moved on, as well as running back Khalil Valentine. Stepping in could be a quarterback rotation to start with Dominic Carmigiano, as well as Will Menzel, transferred from Saguaro High. Stepping in at running back is very talented Tristan Halsana, who averaged 30 yards a carry in limited time last year. OC Chad Carpenter on the outlook of the Wolves, stepping into tonight's contest against the champions. Wolves OC Chad Carpenter joins us. And Coach, last year, such a great year offensively for the team. Put up 39 points. I know you lose some parts, Khalil Valentine, you lose Heffron, the quarterback. But with this team, you're always going to have great athletes. You're always going to have the opportunity to put up some points. Your thoughts of this year's offense?
Yeah, you know, I was talking to our coaches, and we are so far ahead of where we were last year at this time. We've got probably 90% of our offense in. Now it's just a matter of kind of fine-tuning, getting better, motioning, shifting, doing some of our base plays. So we put a lot on our guys in the spring, and they responded. We have some great, young guys that are just really hungry to play. And we have a high expectation for guys to know what they're doing. But when it comes time for the game, we want them to just go out and execute, have fun, be fast, be physical. So I'm really happy with where we're at right now.
And with this team, look, you're always going to have great athletes. There's always great athletes here on Arizona Avenue. That being said, give us a couple names that you're excited about that when they step on the turf this year, they got the chance to take it to the house.
Yeah, we have a returning starter, 3-year starter, Carter Ochoa. He's kind of our slot receiver. We have a new kid that came in, Skylar Ormita is another slot receiver. Those two are just dynamic inside for us. We have 2 quarterbacks. It's kind of an open competition right now. And so, we've got Dom Carmignano and Will Menzel that are just really battling. And that's been a lot of fun. Davion Loudermilk has stepped up at tight end. And so we have a returning line of 5 guys that played last year. And so Isaiah Garcia, we've got Noah Swope, Blake Spear, and Quinn Real. So we've got a bunch of guys that played, and Michael Cook too. We've got 5 offensive linemen with a lot of experience. So I say all that, we should be very good. There's no excuse, right?
Yeah.
But it's been good. I mean, there's always a learning curve, and we're always wanting perfection. But, yeah, man, we've got a lot of turning talent for sure.
That being said, it always starts with the big boys making the big noise in the trenches. And the fact that you've got that is, such a plus to add that feather in your cap. That being said, what's the excitement like? Game day, game week. I mean, it's all the hard work. It's the spring ball. It's the summer work. It's the fall practice. It's the sweating through the buck 12 and 13 to finally get to this point.
Yeah, and it's fun, too. We're home, and, just for our students and just the community, it's nothing better than playing on this field. I've been here 15 years, and our stadium has never looked as good as it has right now. We've got brand new turf. We have brand new signage. It's painted real nice. I'm like, we just need to play like our field looks, and we'll be really happy. But it's going to be good to go against somebody new. We're tired of going against our D and seeing what they're doing, and everybody this time of year, you're just ready to go see a new opponent. It was good last week to get a scrimmage in, but yeah, these guys have been working hard, on football for a long time, and we all have put a lot of time into it, and now it's finally game week. We've had this circle on our calendars for a really long time. So we're excited. Chavez is a good team. They got a lot of really good players coming back. New coaching staff. I'm watching them on film. They're a lot better than last year. And so, we're excited to play and go out and try to hit somebody else.
For you, Coach, you played collegiately at Washington State. You played for the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, football's in your DNA. You absolutely love it. That's why you still do it. Talk about the passion you have being out here for Chandler High, and of course the expectations of being a coach in one of the best programs, if not the best in the state.
Yeah, I mean, football has been such a huge part of my life. I mean, other than my family and my faith, football is right there. And so I try to get these kids to understand, especially nowadays with the different opportunities that football can present, young guys can actually change their life with this game and do some things. And so it's the reason I live here. I mean, it's how I was able to, get started in life with, buying a house and, paying for my college education. And so, the game is just so much more than the game. All my best friends are football players and guys that I played college ball with, high school ball with, NFL. And you're going to never forget this time of year, or this time of their lives playing football. High school ball is so fun. And, being at this program, a lot of times we forget because we are such, a football-driven school. It's still high school ball. This is the best time to go out. You shouldn't have a whole lot of pressure, man. Just go out and have fun. And so, I care a lot about the game, and I just want us to obviously, Chandler has, obviously I've been here a long time. It's a special place, and just really looking forward to the guys going out and showing what they can do.
There you go. Words of wisdom, make memories, make friendships for a lifetime, and of course, go out there and dominate. We are less than 20 minutes away from kickoff as the Wolves open the season against Cesar Chavez. I am joined by Chandler assistant coach Mike Underwood, who does all his damage in the secondary with the safeties. And Coach, finally here, game day. What's the outlook? What's the adrenaline? What's the mood like of the team?
Oh, man, they're excited. Got a lot of young kids that are ready to kind of put their mark on this game. Had a lot of big brothers that graduated last year, Khalil Valentine, Jeremiah Young, Sammy Hunter, a lot of big names, Kennedy Urlacher. So they're ready to fill those shoes right now, so they're excited, ready to get going.
We kind of talk about a lot of new faces having to step in, a lot of young faces in the secondary. But as I mentioned here at Chandler High, look, no one's going to cry the blues because there's always great young talent ready to show what they can do. And they're hungry. Give us a breakdown of who we can see in that secondary.
Well, you're going to see Austin Bradley, nicknamed Scooby. He's going to be playing our boundary corner. Tremendous athlete. You'll see him probably just hawking the ball, making plays. You'll see Hamisi Juma in the deep safety spot. He's ready to go. He transferred over from Tolleson. He was here with us, came back. So he's available for all games, and he's a big-time guy. He got a lot of good offers right now, and Kamari Crawford's another guy that's going to make some noise tonight, and Austin Reese.
So that being said, a talented secondary as always, and it's always refreshing when you got veterans at the linebacker spot in Sean Perez, and of course the team's leading tackler from a year ago in Aiden Browder.
Yeah. So those guys are part of our leadership council. So we give the team back to the players. We set the tone as coaches, but they drive the standard. And so Aiden and Sean are perfect for that. They're leaders in the linebacker. We got to stop the run to make everything else work, and they're perfect for that for our team. So they're a blessing to have.
And of course, it all starts with the big boys making the big noise in the trenches. Let's give them some love as well. So, Coach, give us kind of a feel. This team hasn't tasted a championship since 2020. That trophy case, my goodness, it's getting some cobwebs on there. So give us kind of the mindset of this team, maybe being overlooked by some publications. Some publications have you as high as 3, maybe others have you as low as 5. So give us kind of the mindset of this Wolves team coming into the season.
And I'll just say, we also saw a publication had us at number 12. But, at Chandler, we've set a tone to a point where when we finish 8-2 in the regular season, it's a bad season for us. But the boys right now, their mantra, the leadership group that put together, theirs is restore the order. So they're ready to go and take it over. They're tired of hearing about what happened before. They're ready to put their stamp on this Chandler school and make their mark and go after that Open Championship.
And you kind of talk about the Open Championship. You don't get there unless you take care of home turf in week 1. You went to Cesar Chavez last year. You beat them handily, 56-6. None of that matters. Chandler Hovick spent the last 5 years at Central. He's now the new head coach. He used to play quarterback at Cesar Chavez back in the day at 2012 in that campaign. He's coming in with a new attitude, a good coaching staff, and your thoughts on a new look Cesar Chavez squad looking to ruin the soiree here on week 1.
Well, look, Chandler Hovick has proven that he's a great coach. Very young guy. You talk about him being an alumni of Cesar Chavez, so he's going to bring a lot of passion and a lot of purpose to this team. I would say one thing with Cesar Chavez, they're never lacking talent. They got a lot of really great football players on the team, and now I know they're going to ready to bring it. They're not afraid. They want to be here. They want to play us at home. So we're ready to bring it to them. They're ready to bring it to us. We're ready to have a good game.
Okay, before I let you go, because we're closing in and got to let you get back to the team, give us some keys to the season in order for Chandler High to be in a position, because along the way I should mention, what we're seeing now from this team is not how this team's going to look. There's a lot of players that are waiting in the wings, just waiting for their transfer freedom card to get out of jail and play for this team. So that being said, for things to go right, for this team to make a deep run and potentially play in the Open Finals, Mike, what is it going to take?
For us, it's going to be running the football. We can go down a whole long list of running backs that we've had here at Chandler. It's always going to start there. We have a deep and experienced offensive line right now. So when we set the tone running the football, everything else is going to go well. We have 2 great quarterbacks in Dom Carmigiano and Will Minsel. So whether whoever's in or out, they're going to run the offense for us. When we get guys that are going to come in, a lot of those young kids are going into an already talented group that's starting right now that's led by Charter Ochoa. And we're just going to ball out. We're going to do that. So the key is going to be running the football. On the defensive side, it always starts with pursuit to the football and tackling the ball carrier. Those are going to be 2 big things. And then the icing on the cake is taking the football away and giving it back to our offense.
There you go. The Chandler High Wolves looking to bring their A game and following their coach who brought his A game in this interview. We're closing in on kickoff. That's going to wrap up the pregame show. Keep it locked. Keep it loaded. More to come from Chandler High. Austin Field. It's the opener between the Wolves and the champions right here in the East Valley. We call it the School of Champions.
We would like to extend a warm welcome to our guests from Levine and thank you for making the journey to Austin Field tonight. We are grateful we can all come together in the spirit of competition to enjoy tonight's game, our commitment to sportsmanship and athletic excellence, reminding us of the values evidenced by high school sports that we all share and celebrate. We require good sportsmanship at all high school sporting events, and attendance at interscholastic activities is a privilege with the expectation that spectators will always exhibit positive and respectful behavior. For the enjoyment and respect of all in attendance, your cooperation in demonstrating the high ideals of sportsmanship is expected and greatly appreciated. Please respect the student athletes, coaches, schools, personnel, AIA officials, and fellow fans at all times throughout tonight's game. We thank you for your continued support. And gentlemen, at this time, please rise as the Chandler High School Air Force Junior ROTC proudly presents our national colors. Commanders are Cadet Nevaeh King, Cadet Rosaneri, Cadet Naomi Gaitan, Cadet Cesar Prado, Cadet Haley Slack, and Cadet Rig Yates. As we get ready to welcome field for another season of Chandler High football, we'd like to take a moment to thank our following sponsors: Shields, RJ Orr and Blue Media, the Swope family, Todd Pepper and family, Elmer's Tacos, and Jennifer Pope and the UBS Financial Group. Thank you again for your support of Chandler High School football. Here come the Wolves! For tonight's game: referee Jeff Martin, umpire Ken Adams, headline judge Andrew Tops, line judge Tyler Hansen, back judge George Sulagas, side judge Kurt Geitzenauer, and field judge Andrew Zembruski. Captains for tonight's game: first for the Cesar Chavez champions, number 1 Nevin Reed, number 11 Marcus Newman, number 25 MJ Woodbury, and number 70 Kayvon Mata. Number 5 Aiden Browder, and number 60 Isaiah Garcia. Game, Chandler will receive the kickoff and defend the north end zone. While Cesar Chavez will kick off and defend the home of the Chandler High Wolves.
And we welcome you back to Austin Field, the home of the Chandler High Wolves, where we are moments away from kicking off the brand new season. Wolves, of course, decked out in the home black uniforms and the gray helmets, and Cesar Chavez on the opposite side of the field, decked out in the white uniforms and ready to go after it. So the Wolves in the first 2 series will run multiple quarterbacks. Dominic Carmigiano, a senior, will get his opportunity in the first series. And then Saguaro transfer Will Menzel, who just got cleared today, will get an opportunity. Tailback Tristan Halsana. And this is a name that Wolves fans should absolutely fall in love with. A young man who averaged 30 yards a carry in limited opportunities will get the chance to show what he can do. The Wolves have a lot of moving parts. Some players have to sit out because of transferring for about 5 games. So how the Wolves start is certainly no indication of how they'll look come November. And the Wolves will start the first series winning the coin toss and have decided to receive. The Wolves, led by head coach Rick Gerritsen, now in his 6th year with the program as the head coach, 15th overall here in Chandler. Chandler Hovick, the new head coach of Cesar Chavez, spent the last 5 years as the head coach over at Central. Hovick was the starting quarterback for Cesar Chavez back in 2020. Make that 2012, I should say. Kickoff, little pooch, and the up man will drop it, and the Wolves will fall on it. So the Wolves will start with good field position at about the 29-yard line. So Cesar Chavez making a point not to kick the ball deep into the Wolves' dangerous special teams unit. And now it's Chandler coming out and showing what they can do. Starting quarterback will be number 12, Dominic Carmigiano. Tailback number 23, Tristan Halsana. Man in motion. And Carmigiano gets busted up. A broken play by the Wolves. The offensive line, veterans. Number 57, Logan Ray. Left guard, number 74, Noah Swope. The center, number 60, Isaiah Garcia. Number 57, right guard, Quentin Real. And a right tackle, you could see number 78, Blake Spear, or Michael Cook. Carmigiano takes it up. He gets dropped. And so far, it's this new look Cesar Chavez defense bringing their A game. They lost last year to Chandler at home 56-6. So it is a 3rd and 18 from the 21-yard line. 3 wide receivers down below. Carmigiano flips it out. And a short pickup and a great first stand by Hovick's defense. And the Wolves will be forced to punt. And that is exactly what Cesar Chavez wanted to do coming in. Keep Chandler denying the big play opportunities. And now it's going to be a punting formation for Chandler. Their punter is number 8, Carter Ochoa, looking to pin Cesar Chavez deep in their own territory. And that's a good punt. Dropped momentarily and picked up. Going the other way, number 25 on his giddy up around the sideline, still on his feet, and he is gone. McKenneth Woodbury, the senior, fumbled it, picks it up, and roars down the sidelines. Just an incredible turn of events as Chandler is stunned on special teams, but there is a flag down. Referees are going to talk it over, and we'll sort out the referees. The ref is Jeff Martin, umpire Ken Adams. Back judge George Salagis, headline judge Tyler Hansen, side judge Kurt Geitzenauer. Your field judge is Andrew Zambunski. So the referees are marking this one back, but just an incredible start by Woodbury.
Fumbled it, turned the corner. Unfortunately, a race for the champions on the holding call. So now it's Cesar Chavez offensively, led by quarterback Mason Penrod, number 8. Veteran tailback, number 3, Ferris Jenkins, and look out for wide receiver Peyton Stokes. Defensively for Chandler, led by middle linebacker, number 5, Aiden Brower. And a good start defensively, and you can see that speed by the Chandler secondary coming up and making plays. A good hustle play, fast and furiously by the field safety, Kamar Crawford. Brings up a 2nd and 12 from the 40-yard line. Game just underway from Chandler High. The Wolves opening up at home on a Thursday night. Shotgun, inside handoff, and the Wolves swallowed up yet again. Great defensive pursuit. In on the tackle, number 5, Aiden Brower. Last year in the win over Cesar Chavez. A tremendous game for the future NAU Lumberjack. Led the team with 7 tackles. 3rd and 12 from the 40-yard line. Now it's the Wolves looking to pin their ears back and put the pressure on quarterback Mason Penrod. Cesar Chavez, veteran offensive line. But there was a penalty call against the Wolves. And that's going to move the sticks. So the champions taking advantage. And now we're going to start swinging it back the other way. So the discussions go on the field between the referees. So it brings up a 3rd and 12 from the 40. Penrod, shotgun formation. 1 wide receiver up top, 1 down below. Penrod, good snap. Time to throw, going downfield. And that one is grabbed. And going, and fumbled at the 1. But they're going to call him down on contact. Penrod, a beautiful strike down the field. And he finds the team's elite offensive weapon in Nevin Reed. Reed comes up big, and that takes the ball down to the 1-yard line. Penrod, all day to throw the ball in the pocket. Reed, one-on-one coverage. He beat the corner. Good throw, great catch, and that puts the champions on the doorstep. First opportunity. 1 back in the backfield. Penrod, keeper, tries to bust his way in. And Penrod crosses the plane, and the champions are on the board first. Cesar Chavez, a record of 3-7 last year. Struggled offensively, putting up less than 15 points a game, giving up 30. They've come out here and shown some mental toughness. Penrod, the big play strike down the field to Nevin Reed, then Penrod on the keeper. And just like that, it's the champions with the early lead. Coach Hovick and crew setting the tone, and now going for the extra point. On to boot it is Brandon Bracamani. And there is a flag down. We've had several so far to start this one. It's going to be a false start against the champions. That'll push them back, and they'll get another opportunity. So right out of the gates, champions setting the tone. Coming to Arizona Avenue with a big play strike from Penrod to Nevin Reed. Snap is up, and that is blocked. Ball is scooped up, and good work by the Wolves blocking the extra point attempt. So it's an early 6-0 lead for Chandler High. Of course, a great crowd on hand. It is the home opener for Chandler High, led by head coach Rick Garrettson. Took over in 2019. Now in his 15th year on campus. Head coach since 2019. His offensive coordinator is Chad Carpenter. His DC is Ryan Desrochers. And his assistant head coach is Eric Richardson. And a slew of great coaches on this staff. Expectations for Chandler High, always so big every single season. Lifetime against Cesar Chavez, Chandler High, a perfect 5-0. Dating back to 2007, they won that contest 42-21. 2008, 46-14. 2013, 41-21. 2014, 42-0. And last year, 56-6. That game started fast and furiously for the Wolves, and they never looked back. Now this one has a little bit of a different feel, with the champions drawing first blood. And this one knocked down into the end zone after the penalty. So the Wolves will start deep in their end. And we saw Dominic Carmigiano in the first series for the Wolves. Now Will Menzel, a transfer from Saguaro High. Limited time last year for the SaberCats. He got the bulk of the starting snaps. And now we'll see if he'll come out and have the opportunity to show what he can do. Good handoff, and the bust up the middle by Helsana. Rolls off 10 yards. And that is going to be one thing to watch for Chandler High all season. A very powerful offensive line, and Will Menzel now in at quarterback. Helsana backfield. Helsana, they go right back to him, busting up the middle. This time a slew of champions in on the tackle. The receiving core, oh so talented. Skylar Ormida, just to name a few, can bust a play wide open. Brings up a 2nd and 8 from the 34. And now the refs are blowing the whistle. In last year's win, Helsana had a 32-yard touchdown in the second half, part of the 56-6 victory. Chandler High, when you think about where they've been as they get the penalty, preseason Max Preps top 25 has Chandler High ranked number 3 behind Liberty and Centennial. Brings up a 2nd and 8 from the 34. Menzel, end around, and good open field tackle. Once again, Cesar Chavez showing just how talented they are at the point of attack. Tackle by Davion Mask. Mask, a senior, 5'11", 225, had 3 sacks last year. And right now there are some clock issues that they're trying to work it out. Chandler High comes out with a unique formation. 4 wide receivers up top, 1 down below. Menzel in the shotgun. And now the whistle is underway. 7:18 and counting in this first half. And Menzel draws the champions off. And that's going to give Chandler High a little bit more real estate going the other way. An extra 5 yards. And Menzel showing his ability to control the tempo at the line of scrimmage. Once again, bunch formation up top. Menzel looking back over the sidelines to Chad Carpenter, his offensive coordinator. Menzel, play clock at 25. Keeper, busted inside. Menzel into the secondary, and Menzel, a good pickup inside the 35-yard line. And the Wolves are howling. They're on the move. Menzel, young man who came over from Saguaro High, limited opportunities. He trades Scottsdale for Arizona Avenue. 2 wide receivers up top. And now there's a timeout on the field. And the champions will call a timeout. Champions led by Chandler Hovick. Hovick was the quarterback for Cesar Chavez in 2012. Last 5 years, he was at Central High. So he's so excited to be back. Defensive coordinator Lewis Redmond runs the show. Got some Arizona high school legends, and Paul Lucas and Natrell Curtis also on the staff. Receivers coach Eric Adams, O-line coach and Chavez alum Juan Burciaga, and DB's coach Keith Manning. Now you're taking a good look at Chandler. The young men battled so hard in the fall camp heat, but everyone you talk to around the program, this group is eager, anxious, and coming into this season with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. 8-3, well, as they say, just not good enough in these parts whatsoever. A 1st and 10 from the 36. Menzel back in the backfield. 2 wide receivers up top. Inside handoff. Helsana off tackle, and he busted out for 9 yards inside the 30. A good pickup by Helsana, the senior running back, who's got all kinds of skill. Averaged 30 yards a carry last year in limited opportunities. And behind this offensive line, you better believe he's got the capabilities to rush for 1,000 yards and then some. Brings up a 2nd and 2 from the 29. Wolves showing just how powerful that offensive line is. 2 wide receivers down below, 1 up top. Helsana in the backfield. Menzel. Another inside handoff to Helsana. Breaks it out, turns the corner, and he barrels and gets the first down. Helsana moving the chains, and the Wolves controlling the clock. Down 6-0 after taking a slap in the face by the champions. Penrod on the keeper. Extra point no good, and that is where we are. This time the Wolves come out with 3 wide receivers down below, 1 up top. Back in the backfield, that veteran offensive line looking for more push. Menzel rolling to his right, throws back the other way. It's got a receiver. And rolling and going into the end zone. And that's a touchdown for the Wolves. Going the other way, the toss back. And the Wolves have tied this one up. Menzel to Legender. And the Wolves with their first touchdown of the year. Little misdirection by Chad Carpenter. The champions bit, and now it's Christian Aguilar on the PAT. And that's going to be an offsides call against the champions. Menzel, nice job. Had the champions biting on the pocket pass instead. Dumped it off the other way, and Menzel, first touchdown of the year. So the referees will Move the ball just a little closer inside the 5, and Christian Aguilar, his job this year, kick extra points, do a great job, and be special inside the 15. This one up, and this one is good. So the Wolves go the length of the field and then some. They power it on the ground with Helsana, and Menzel does the rest with a little toss back to Lejander for the touchdown. Good start offensively after the previous 3 and out. Now it's a defense going back to work. And this is a defense that loses the 6A Defensive Player of the Year and Jeremiah Young, who was so strong up front for the Wolves. He's now at Kansas Junior College in the Jayhawk League, where he is getting ample playing time. A true freshman doing things, and the future is definitely bright for this young man. And when we talk about this Chandler High program, we talk about an era of dominance. According to Thomas Frey of Max Prep, second most dominant team in the state of Arizona in the last 20 years. They won the state title in 2014, 2016, 2017, 2018. They won the Open title in 2019 and 2020. They were also the state title runner-up in the Open division in 2021. So this is a team in a senior class that has not tasted any kind of championship glory, and they're anxious to do just that. Back to receive for the champions, number 3, Ferris Jenkins, and number 25, MJ Woodbury. Ochoa will line it up and knock it down. This one, Woodbury, and the ball drops inside the 10. The flag will go out, and the champions will have excellent field position. Mother Nature. Nice, fairly cool evening. Call it the mid-90s. And you can tell there's a lot of care and concern early in this one. Good crowd on hand, plenty of blue. Chandler High, look, when the Wolves come out to play, the fan base, the alumni, the student section, Arizona Avenue shuts it down. They come out to watch their team. So now it's Mason Penrod. Came out, and that first possession threw a beautiful deep pass to Nevin Reed that set up the Penrod keeper for the touchdown. No question, it got Chandler High's attention. The big boys up front, number 9, defensive tackle, Jamie Curice. And once again, Penrod connecting again, hooking up with Nevin Reed. And Penrod feeling it in the pocket. And right now you got to feel for Chandler High, they got to put more pressure on Penrod, the sophomore, 6'2", 200 pounds, feeling oh so comfortable. And once again, hooking up with Nevin Reed on a big play connection. Things in order for the champions, coming out and feeling very strong about their start. Penrod taking control, and of course they haven't even gone to their veteran running back, Ferris Jenkins. They also have Miles Johnson, who is plenty of talented with 221 yards rushing last year with a couple touchdowns. So between Johnson and Ferris Jenkins, the sophomore, they've got a good two-headed attack. And right now the Chandler coaching staff talking some things over. DC Ryan DeRochers came from Liberty, brought with him an Iowa State style of defense. Played well last year. They only gave up 17 points a game, 4 points away from being undefeated. They run an odd front, multiple formations, and they'll big pressure from different angles. And right now, they got to find some pressure against Mason Penrod, who's getting so comfortable in the pocket very early. He's got one wide receiver down below, one up top. Ferris Jenkins in the backfield. Man in motion. This time, it's Penrod. A little dump off at the line. A quality pickup. Good gain that continues to make things happen for the champions. A little dump off pass. Mikai Hodge on the reception. 2nd and 4 from the 19. Penrod avoids the rush. Takes and goes inside the 15. So it's going to be a short situation. And give Penrod credit. He did just enough to get the first down. So now it's 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. And the champions coming to town. New coaching staff playing fearless. Penrod, pocket, keeper, up the gut. And this time he runs into a stone wall. The Wolves bringing the heat. And bringing it, number 44 of the Wolves. Just a force up the middle. Jalen Robertson, the senior. Breaking down the middle of the champions' offensive line, which has played so strong to this point. Wolves with 3 wide receivers down below, a back in the backfield. This time it's Miles Johnson, the veteran. Wolves showing pressure, and a flag is thrown, and the Wolves coming up to the line of scrimmage caused a false start by the champions, so that's going to set them back. 3:27 left in the first half. So glad you can join us right here on the Chandler High Sports Network. Apollo Hutchinson on the live stream, Joe Pequeno here on the call. Penrod. Johnson in the backfield. Dropping back, time to throw, airs it out, one-on-one coverage, and that one is thrown away. Once again, looking for his favorite target in Nevin Reed, but he was blanketed by the Wolves' young secondary. Penrod gets the call from the sidelines. Chandler Hovick, the new head coach, he talked about this Chandler team and how everyone aims to be a program like the Wolves. Penrod dropping back, fires over the middle, and that is picked off. Chandler secondary coming up big. Good hands, great play, and coming up, Yona Kupu. What a great play by the sophomore inside linebacker, making his brother proud. Orion Kupu, a star on the team for the Wolves last year. Kupu in the middle, coming up big. And the Chandler defense, which was getting knocked around, puts their big boy pants on and comes up with a stop. Now it's the Wolves with an opportunity to go to work. Carmigiano back in, throws it over the middle. A good pitch and catch. And the Wolves starting to get into a nice rhythm offensively. Carter Ochoa in on the reception. Ochoa, 37 receptions last year, 495 yards. And now once again, Halsana doing things, busting it. inside the Champions' 45-yard line. So now it's the veterans on this Chandler offensive unit coming to light. Ochoa on the reception. Hulsana breaking it off. 1st and 10 at the 45. Dominic Carmigiano in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers up top, 2 down below. Carmigiano, good snap, lets it go. Finds Ochoa, and Ochoa is going to go the distance. 45 yards, and the Wolves are back on top. Dummy football. Finds the big play target in Carter Ochoa. And the Wolves go 45 and then some for 6. And what a pass by Carmigiano. A perfect pitch and catch. Now it's Aguilar on the point after. Good snap, and Aguilar does what he does, knocks it through. And now the Wolves starting to show their skill and will. Now up 14-6, and the Wolves fan base literally right below us. You can hear them, their passion, their energy. They love their Chandler High football team. And how about the play call by Chad Carpenter? Ochoa wide open on that sidelines, and Carmigiano just fired a dime right on target. Ochoa races 45 yards. Now a 14-6 Chandler High lead. Rick Garrison's team has now scored 14 unanswered. And this was an offensive unit last year that put up almost 40 points a game. They've got a veteran offensive line, and this offensive line, can't say enough of them. Left tackle number 57, Logan Ray, a senior, 6'3", 260. Left guard number 74, Noah Swoop, junior, 6'3", 285. Center number 60, Isaiah Garcia. He's a senior, 285, 6'1". Quentin Real, 57, right guard, senior, 290, just to name a few. And here comes Chandler, their special teams unit. This is knocked over to Woodbury. Woodbury loses the handle. Woodbury, and Woodbury is gobbled up. Good open field tackle by Hassimi Juma, the junior defensive back who has all kinds of collegiate looks. Checking him out. And when you're a great defensive player and you can play special teams, oh yeah, you've got a great chance to play on Saturday. And Juma leads the charge. So now this Wolves defense that got a little bit of a wake-up call as the champions came out, and Mason Penrod throwing the football around with authority. They got the stop last time out on the Koopa pick. And now it's the champions going to work. 2 wide receivers up top. Penrod. Shotgun. Ferris Jenkins right by his side. Jenkins tries to go to the right side, tries to run it out. And he runs into pressure. Great tackle by that secondary of the Wolves. Malik Johnson, the cornerback, the senior, charging up and making the play. We are under 2 minutes left in this first half. Wolves in front of the home crowd for the first time this year. They're back at it next Thursday, taking on Mountain Ridge. But first, it's all about the champions. Penrod shotgun. Jenkins backfield. Penrod dropping back. Flicks it out to his right and almost picked off. Fantastic read At Chandler secondary coming up big and sliding away for the near pick. It brings up a 3rd and 9 from the 12-yard line. And that defensive line looking to make some noise and come after Penrod. 3 wide receivers down below. Woodbury in the backfield. Penrod trying to avoid a tackle, and Penrod, he's going to be dropped. A slew of Wolves in on the tackle. Coming up loud and proud, Jamie Keyreese, the junior defensive lineman. Keyreese last year, 10 tackles, 2 for losses. Coming up big, he's going to be a force. And that sets the tone for the Wolves as they force the champions to punt. Chandler High now has all the momentum, and back to receive is Skylar Ormita, the junior wide receiver, 5'8", $165. This one has Ormita taking a couple steps back. He's got some room to roam, work in the middle of the field. Ormita in the middle, inside the 25. Takes it down to the 20, but there's some laundry on the field, and the referees will sort this one out. Under 8 seconds left in this first half as the momentum has switched to the home team. And the referees are sorting this one out. Chandler High will have an opportunity with great field position regardless. Coach Gerritsen and his team, tremendous battles in fall camp. They labored through the 100-degree temperatures and then some. But here they are, and this team is coming into the season with a chip on its shoulder. Maybe being overlooked, unthought of, and now it's Will Menzel back at quarterback. Wolves, no back in the backfield. 3 wide receivers down below, 2 up top. Menzel, good snap. Quick pass in a flat. And good pursuit by the champions. Good pitch and catch as Ochoa with the short pickup. And that's going to do it for the first quarter. The Wolves standing loud and proud. They get sucker punched early, but now they're fighting back with the 14-6 lead. We'll take a short timeout from Austin Field. You're watching the Wolves in the home opener against the champions on the Chandler High Sports Network. And we welcome you back to Austin Field. Second quarter about to get underway. The Wolves with a 2nd and 5 from the 27. They've scored in their last 2 possessions. Will Menzel, the transfer from Saguaro, just got the free pass today. 3 wide receivers up top, 2 down below. Menzel, good snap. Quick pass in a flat. Ochoa, this time he is bounced. No gain on the play. Good hustling pursuit by the champions, looking to make a stop. And what could be a critical play for Cesar Chavez in this one. They've given up 2 consecutive touchdown drives, and Chandler High feeling it, sniffing blood in this first half. Last year, they went to Cesar Chavez and put a beat down 56-6. Menzel, shotgun, no backs in the backfield. Good snap, surveying the field, fires a strike over the middle. Skylar Ormita on the reception, and the Wolves move the chains, and the Wolves are howling to start this second quarter. Just great protection by that veteran offensive line, and the Wolves wasting no time. Break the huddle and go right back at it. Menzel surveying another dart, that time in the slot. And there is a flag on the field, and the referees will talk this one over. On the reception, Elias Gutierrez, the senior, 6'1", $180. But that penalty is going to go against the Wolves and push them back. So we'll have more real estate to deal with. Menzel looking sharp behind a veteran offensive line, providing the push up front. And you got to like what you see from that veteran unit. Wolves coming out in a passing formation yet again. 5 wide receivers. Menzel, low snap, picks it up, avoids the rush for a split second, and he's going to be taken down on the brand new turf. The pressure brought by Amari Bell, the junior defensive end. Chandler High playing on a brand new turf field. All the Chandler High, or I should say the Chandler Unified School Districts, providing new turf fields for all the Chandler schools, and the Wolves were the first to get theirs, and it looks spectacular. So big loss on the play by Amari Bell on the sack. Brings up a 2nd and 36 from the 42. Shotgun. Menzel surveying. Rolls to his right. Steps up. Good pressure yet again by the champions. And bringing it, number 50 for the champions, Tyus Graves, the junior outside linebacker. And now it's the champions getting some things done defensively. The Wolves at one time had a first down inside the 20. Penalties pushed them back. The big sack by Amari Bell, and Tyus Graves with the good open field tackle. Brings up a 3rd and forever from the 47. Couple wide receivers up top. Back in the backfield, Helsana busts his way for a quality pickup, but it's going to be way short of a first down, I should say, and that brings up a 4th down. Chad Carpenter and Rick Garrison with some things to think over as they look at the sidelines. Defense has made a couple nice stops. The offense stays on the field. Menzel in the shotgun. 1 back in the backfield. 2 wide receivers up top, 2 down below. Menzel dropping back. Little dump off, little screen to Helsana. Following the big boys up front. Helsana inside the 20. And that's going to be short of a first down as the champions come up with a stop. Helsana oh so close of busting it. But Cesar Chavez comes up with a key stop. Now it's Chandler Hovick's team, led by quarterback Mason Penrod. Looking to capitalize on the good momentum stop by the defense. 8:14 left in this second quarter. Penrod operating this whole half out of the shotgun. 1 back in the backfield. Wide receiver up top. Handoff. And good effort by the Wolves up front. A slew of tacklers in on there, including number 44, Jalen Robertson, the senior. Brings up a 2nd and 9. And last year, this game was 56-6. And the champions have certainly, with a new leadership behind them, have made this one a lot closer than many have thought. Ferris Jenkins in the backfield. Penrod back to throw. Penrod stepping up, flicks it down the field, and the Wolves almost the near pick by Scooby Bradley. Bradley was there, and just not enough communication in that Chandler secondary, or that might have had the potential to be a pick six. Instead, it brings up a 3rd and long for the champions. We are under 8 minutes left in the first half. So glad you can join us right here on the opening of Chandler High football. Paulo Hutchison on the live stream. Joe Pequeno here on the call. The champions coming up with 2 wide receivers up top. Penrod with Jenkins in the backfield. Penrod slinging it this half. Big rush, and he gets dropped. Big time pressure, and the Wolves feasting, courtesy of Xavier Sr., the 6'1", 210-pound defensive lineman coming up with the sack. Xavier Sr. bringing the pressure, and now it's the champions forced to punt. So Penrod, early in this one, slinging it around, finding his big play target in Nevin Reed, and all of a sudden, he's felt the wrath of this explosive Chandler defense. Champions forced to punt. Back to receive, and we'll let this one bounce. And this will be down inside the 40. Skylar Ormita lets it roll. And the Wolves go to work at their own 37-yard line. So we've seen the dual quarterback situation look good for the Wolves. Now stepping back in this series is Dominic Carmigiano. Carmigiano threw a 45-yard touchdown to Ochoa. Just a beautiful pitching catch to put the team on top. He's got 2 wide receivers. He's got Hulsana in the backfield. Man in motion. Carmigiano, low snap. Inside handoff, and the champions stepping up and denying the Wolves on the run. Now Hulsana coming back in as Lejander, getting the opportunity to show what he could do for a split second, but it's bottled up by a determined champions defensive line. Hulsana backfield, and a flag comes down, and that's going to be offsides against the champions. And if you're Chandler Hovick, the head coach of Cesar Chavez, your team has played so well to this point, and the last thing you want to do is give the Wolves any kind of real estate whatsoever. A team so talented with so many big play weapons, they don't need any kind of help whatsoever. Handoff, Hulsana inside, and that big physical tough front of the champions coming up big. Leading the way, David Mask, senior defensive lineman. 3rd and 5 from the 42. Some substitutions for the Wolves. Now it's Dominic Carmigiano. 3rd down and 5. Shotgun, good snap. Flicks it downfield, and that's going to fall right in front of Jaden Spann, the junior wide receiver. So now it's a 4th and 5 from the 42. And the Wolves are going to have to punt this one away. So the champion stepping up and set back to receive is MJ Woodbury. We saw Woodbury on what looked like a punt return for a touchdown earlier that was brought back, but he's got electric ability in the open field. Low snap. Ochoa knocks this one the other way. Woodbury, couple bounces, picks it up at his 15, cuts left. Good pursuit by Chandler High, and Woodbury takes it out past the 25. Under 5 minutes left in this first half, and so far we've got a ball game between the champions and the Wolves. And the Wolves fans are anxious. They see a champions team that was 3-7 last year. Now it's a new regime led by the new head coach who spent the last 5 years as the head coach at Central High. Hovick going home, the prodigal son, quarterback of the team in 2012, now leading the team with a good coaching staff. And they are giving it everything and then some. They come out with 4 wide receivers. Back in the backfield, Penrod operating shotgun. Quick throw to his left. And that's going to be incomplete. Penrod trying to find Peyton Stokes, just out of his reach. 2nd and 10 from the 30-yard line. Coming up at halftime, we have a one-on-one conversation with assistant head coach Eric Richardson, longtime icon on campus. Inside handoff, Ferris Jenkins trying to pick his way. A slew of Wolves in on the tackle. Getting dirty in the pile. Number 45 for the Wolves, Xavier Sr. Had that sack a short time ago. A little over 4 minutes and counting. 3rd and 7 from the 34. Penrod, good snap, surveying the field. He's going to let it fly, and there's no one there. Looking downfield, was trying to find Peyton Stokes, but Stokes stopped on the route. Looked like a miscommunication. There was some one-on-one coverage there. Chandler High once again comes up big. And after the opening drive touchdown, after the big connection from Penrod to Nevin Reed, and Penrod on the keeper for 6, champions have been kept in check. Another great defensive stop. And Skylar Ormita awaits the punt. And it's a fake by the champions, and they will get the first down. Chandler Hovick. An incredible call. Nevin Reed on the snap and gets the Wolves napping. What a call by Chandler Hovick. So the champions remain on offense. They turn the field and control the clock. So Penrod on the offense go back to work. Ferris Jenkins inside, and Jenkins gets gobbled up. Once again, Xavier Sr. having a tremendous first half, living large in the champions' backfield. It brings up a 2nd and 13 from the 49. And you got to applaud Chandler Hovick. He's coming here, and he's going to throw out everything out of the tool shed to try to pull this one off. Penrod, good snap, rolling to his right. Penrod. And Penrod gets taken down. Aiden Brower, the NAU commit, drops him for the sack. Aiden Brower, standout young man, the leader of this defense. 68 tackles a year ago. On his way to play for the Lumberjacks. And you know he's anxious to leave Arizona Avenue. He's heard the stories of championships. He's heard the stories of the team holding up the golden ball at the end of the year, but has yet to taste it. And Brower and veterans like Sean Perez and so many veterans on the defensive line, like Jamie Key Reese, number 9, as well as nose guard, number 90, Jude Jones. Xavier Sr., the 6'1 senior who's played fantastic in this first half. They're anxious. It's their last go-around. You only get one shot at the gold ball at the AIA. Of course, they're going to have their opportunity, and after the champions punched them in the mouth, this Chandler defense has really stepped up. And when we look at the Chandler schedule, next week they're back at it hosting Mountain Ridge, then 3 straight road games starting the 13th at Westwood, down the road at Corona del Sol, September 20th, and mark your calendar for the September 27th matchup at Highland. October 4th, a huge home matchup against defending Open champion Liberty. Then the team heads to Castile on October 18th, a big home matchup against Basha on October 25th, followed by a November 1st matchup against Perry, and then the annual battle for Arizona Avenue at Hamilton on November 8th. 3rd and 19, Penrod dropping back, lets it fly. Good chuck, and just out of the reach on a diving attempt. Can't say enough about the effort laying all out by Peyton Stokes, and just out of the reach. Peyton Stokes, a young man, led the team in all-purpose yards last year with 404, 5 touchdowns, 32 receptions, over 400 yards. Big play target. Now it's a 4th and 19, and once again the Chandler defense comes up big. Ormita. The Wolves would love to get a quality return. This one is going to be shanked to the right, and that's going to give the Wolves great field position, and they're going to mark it roughly at the 45-yard line. So Chad Carpenter, the OC, and Rick Garrison, the head coach, they've bounced back between Dominic Carmigiano and Will Menzel. Menzel, a sophomore, Carmigiano, a senior. Now going back out, it's going to be Will Menzel. Menzel got the Wolves on the board first with a little toss at misdirection to Lejander, who went the distance. Inside handoff, busting it, still on his feet, Hulsana just willing his way down the sidelines. Tristan Hulsana just following the big boys, watching them do their thing, and led the way on that left side. Good effort by Logan Ray and Noah Swope. This Chandler High offense and that offensive line will be a force throughout the year. Hulsana in the backfield. Takes another snap, working that left side yet again. Working his way inside the 35, down to the 33. Good, strong pickup by Hulsana. It's going to be 2nd and short for the Wolves on the move. Hulsana remains in the backfield. 1 wide receiver up top, 2 down below. Hulsana getting his number called early and often in this sequence. And Hulsana is going to be close to a first down. Good work by the The Chandler High offensive line. And that's going to move the sticks for a first down. Elsana, the senior, 5'10". Menzel, man in motion. And there's a flag down, and it's offsides against the champions. And right now, Cesar Chavez with some costly penalties, allowing the Wolves to capitalize. A 5-yard pickup brings up a 1st and 5 from the 31. Menzel, man in motion. This time, inside handoff. Good physical tackles by the champions. Several in on it, including number 58, Braden Holly, senior defensive lineman. 280, 5'11". And there's a timeout on the field. So this Chandler High schedule, they're going to play all kinds of heavy hitters. We'll talk about it yet again. September 27th, a matchup at Highland. That game is going to be on Cox 7. October 4th, a huge home matchup against defending Open champion Liberty. Then as you head toward Halloween, all tricks and hopefully no treats for the Basha Bears as they come to town on the 25th. And how about the November 8th matchup, the Battle of Arizona Avenue against the hated Hamilton Huskies? Oh yeah, mark your schedules. That's always a big one. Doesn't matter the records. Those teams, they just don't like each other. Here we go, 2nd and 4 from the 25. 3 wide receivers up top. Inside handoff, busting inside the 20, still on his feet, powering his way down to the 15. Great physical run and moving the chains is a super senior Helsana. Ormita in motion into the slot. This time it's Menzel working it inside the 5. Menzel powers his way, and Menzel gets in for the touchdown on the broken play. Will Menzel, the sophomore, the transfer, just got cleared today, was looking for someone to hand the ball off to. He said, you know what? Sometimes less is better. Takes off and does it himself. 15-yard run. And it's now a 20-6 Wolves lead. Aguilar on the extra point. Aguilar perfect so far. Coach Garrison loves this young man. And as I give him all the props in the universe, misses the extra point. So Aguilar 2 for 3 on the night. The Wolves extend the lead to 20-6. $1:16 left in this first half. Coming up at the half, the great Chandler High band that works oh so hard, about to show what they can do. And we'll have a conversation with assistant head coach of the Wolves in Eric Richardson. Longtime fixture on this Chandler High campus, legendary with the track program. Richardson always so friendly and available to the media. Always a great chance to talk to him, and we'll have that coming up. Plus the band. Can't say enough about Jeff Cuomo and his fine young musicians. The band is being led to the field by senior drum major A.J. Kowalski. They'll be featuring a segment called I Hope. Original music composed by Seth Woodard. That and more at the half. But still, buck 16. You're like, Joe, don't fast forward. We got football to play. And right now, the champions feeling the wrath of this Chandler High team. Woodbury back to receive. This one a short kick. Taking it up the field, and good special teams by the Wolves. Taking care of the champions inside the 30. Penrod and crew, buck 10 left. Try to march this down and get on the scoreboard. Opening drive, Penrod lighting it up. Found Nevin Reed on a deep timing route. Then Penrod on the keeper. They were driving yet again, but Una came up with a pick. Now a buck 10. 1st and 10 from the 27. And they're busting it right up the middle. The Wolves are there. Big pressure up front and bringing the big physicality. Jude Jones, sophomore defensive lineman, 240. Under 50 seconds left in this first half. And Coach Chandler Hovick, he's content with just winding this one down. Just wants to get into the half, let his team regroup and not make any mistakes and give Chandler any kind of easy field position. Penrod, they work the handoff inside. Ferris Jenkins, short gain. Once again, the Wolves hungry, gang tackling, getting things done. Clock winding down. And Chandler High, which got stunned early, they're going to go into the locker room with a 20-6 halftime lead. They get touchdowns from Will Menzel to Lejander. Dominic Carmigiano to Carter Ochoa on the 45-yard touchdown pass, and then it was Menzel on the 15-yard scamper for 6, and that is where we are. Now, before this game, we had the opportunity to talk to one of the friendly faces here at Chandler High, one of the most warm and sincere individuals you can meet on the campus right here off Arizona Avenue. A legend with the track team, a longtime fixture with the football team. He was here through the bad times, and now he is seeing this team ascend to greatness. He's been part of 6 championships with this team. We talked to the veteran, the icon, that is assistant head coach, Eric Richardson.
In the track field, assistant coach of this program, you've been around this football team forever. What does it mean to you to be part of this Chandler High great tradition and legacy?
Well, it means the world, obviously, because I was here when it was the dark days, and it was some dark days when we first started the program, when I first came here from the Arizona Boys Ranch. And, you know, we stuck to it. And just when we thought we were going to turn the corner, then Hamilton opens and stuff. And then, you know, everybody's new toy, everybody ran over there. So we kind of started the process over again. And then I've survived, you know, been fortunate enough to survive, you know, 3 head coaches, you know, and each of them did their process a little differently. But the program has definitely benefited from the way that they implemented things along the way.
Yeah, there's no question this team has continually risen and gotten better over the course of time, 6 state championships. So now what's it like for these young men that step on the campus for Chandler High, the expectations to understand the legacy, and along the way to understand that, but to understand the sacrifice and commitment they need to show to be part of this great program?
Well, I think the biggest thing is to understand that just because you have Chandler on your chest doesn't automatically guarantee you anything. It's a lot of hard work and perseverance and sacrifice, giving up some things, for something better for the team and all of that. And they've kind of bought into that, because it's hard to fight that, especially in today's generation, that, we're expected to do this because of this Chandler, mystique and stuff. But the kids are really grounded, real disciplined and stuff. And, in this, I guess you can call it the transfer portal population, you really have to, get them to buy in, or they'll be at someone else's program overnight. So I think we're have gone a long way to do things the right way, and the kids have bought in, and we'll see how well we do this year.
Yeah, absolutely. The team was 8-3 last year. Look, you lost a handful of games by single digits. So I know with this team, there's still a little bit of bad taste collectively among the mouths of the players and the coaches, because the squad felt it could have been even better last year. And that being said, the team hasn't won a championship since 2020. I know that lingers in the minds of everyone on campus. So give us kind of the mindset, Coach, as you enter this new season with a lot to prove. And maybe in some cases, I hate to say this, maybe some people might be overlooking Chandler this year.
And that's the good part. We like that part, because we're not the type that's going to jump out on social media and tell you how much we're grinding and how hard we're working. We hate the fact that, we had a 10-year run going where we were in the semis or the finals for 10 consecutive years, and they got broken last year. And the kids are cognizant of those things. And, it's fun to hear people say, Chandler's still good. Well, I don't understand when we got bad, but but we'll go ahead and we'll live with that and stuff. And it makes us more tenacious and makes us want it a whole lot more and stuff. And we'll see if we can put it together. But as I've always said since I've been here day one, I love our chances.
Yeah, and with this team, with the athletes you have, of course, you always have a shot on any given day because of the athletes and coaches on campus. That being said, it's game week. What's the outlook looking like? What's the attitude among the coaches and the fan base and the players? Because, when Chandler High football kicks off, the whole community shuts down and they're going to Arizona Avenue to catch a game.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that we've endured again, because it is just 113 degrees, and how we do it in the summertime and stuff, and we've endured it. We've gotten past that part, the grueling part of it, and now you get to kind of test yourself against the others and test your wares and see if your work is really worthy of putting you in the top echelon of teams and everything. We think we have a good chance, but time will tell. And again, like I said, I certainly like our chances.
Yeah, and for you personally, for all the great players you've been part of, you've helped coach, and all those great track athletes, safe to say you got another 20 years here at Chandler High?
No. Well, I think I have a couple left in football because, the time deal is pretty stringent, with football. So I got a couple more with that, and then I can dabble with track for 4 or 5 years and stuff, because I kind of do that standing on my head. So I'm gonna let the young kids take over in a couple years and stuff, and then watch them progress and see where they can take the program.
There you go, Eric Richardson. One word to sum him up: icon.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
So we welcome you back to Chandler High. Halftime. Good conversation with Eric Richardson. Now it's the Wolfpack Marching Band. The band is under the direction of Jeff Cuomo. Visual staff head is Adam Kesselman. Percussion staff include Tyler Haley, Caitlin Pender, and Ben Hernandez. Color guard staff includes Genesis Engelhart and Cassie Miranda. The design team includes drill writer Jeff Whipple and audio engineer J.J. Mixdorf. The band is being led to the field by senior drum major A.J. Kowalski. This year's show is entitled I Hope, and it features original music composed by Seth Woodard. The band would like to express its appreciation to the Chandler High School Administration and the Chandler High School Band Boosters for their continued support of the program. And please understand,
the band, the cheerleaders, the moms in the concession stand areas, everyone's working so hard, and these young musicians on the field, they practice so hard to provide entertainment in the course of a football game. They work so hard to improve their craft, and this is their special moment. So always appreciate the band. Always appreciate the cheerleaders that are doing their best to bring something extra for the football team, bring something extra for the crowd. And the team is about to do what they do, and that is perform and capture the moment at halftime. We'll listen in. So a great job by the band as they head off the field. And as we look at the preseason Max Preps top 25, they have Liberty, number 1, the defending Open champions from a year ago. Centennial at 2. Centennial and Hamilton are actually playing tonight at Hamilton. Chandler High's at 3, Brophy 4, Hamilton 5, Bash is 6, Saguaro 7, Higley 8, Highland 9, ALAQC 10, Pinnacle 11, Horizon 12, South Point Catholic 13, Desert Edge out of Goodyear 14, Red Mountain 15, Mountain View 16, Williamsfield 17, Desert Mountain out of Scottsdale 18, Yuma Catholic out of Yuma 19, Canyon del Oro in the 20th spot, 21 ALA Gilbert North, 22 Castile, 23 Mountain Point, number 24 Notre Dame Prep, and number 25 Perry, also on the Chandler High schedule this year. The Arizona Republic has a little bit of a different flavor. They have Liberty at number 1, Centennial 2, Hamilton 3, Basha 4, Wolves at 5, Highland comes in at 6, Brophy 7, LA Queen Creek 8, Phoenix Pinnacle 9, and Mesa Red Mountain at number 10. Just a look at some of the preseason prognosticators that are amped to tell the stories of where they think some of these teams will fare this year. Now, of course, Chandler High opening the season here. Peoria opens Friday at Desert Edge. Of course, we talked about Peoria. Centennial out of Peoria. They're at Hamilton tonight, so a big showdown there. Basha Bears opening Friday against Millard South out of Nebraska. Gilbert Highland hosting Shadow Ridge on Friday. So your top teams either open tonight or on Friday to get this season going. Next up for the Wolves, a Thursday matchup against Mountain Ridge. Mountain Lions opening Friday at Tolleson, led by head coach Andy Johnson. They're looking to bounce back from last year's 3-7 season. Wolves beat the Mountain Lions last year 49-7. And as we focus on this first half from Chandler High, it was the champions as the Wolves head back out on the field. Champions really came out and stunned the crowd and stunned the Wolves. Mason Penrod, a big pass play downfield to Nevin Reed, led to a Penrod keeper. Extra point was no good. And that was after a good defensive stop. Will Menzel came in. A little misdirection pass play to Anthony Lejander, who raced in for the touchdown. That gave the Wolves the lead. Dominic coming in. And just a beautiful pass play by Carmigiano. A frozen rope to Carter Ochoa, who raced 45 yards for the touchdown for a 14-6 lead. And then late in the first half, Menzel on a broken play, 15-yard scamper, got in, extra point, no good, and that is where we are. A 20-6 lead, Wolves over Cesar Chavez, a team that they manhandled last year on the road in a big way. Wolves lifetime 5-0 against the champions. Champions with a new head coach and playing sound football. A lot to be proud of in their first half. Chandler Hovick and his team had the ball late in the first half. They decided to just eat the clock and focus on the second frame. And we've seen this Chandler defense, and we talk about standout first halves. Xavier Sr. with a sack. He was tremendous. Can't say enough about the interception by Yona Kupu. The sophomore coming up big and denying the champions inside the 25-yard line. They were driving down, maybe looking for another score, and Kupu came up big and turned the momentum. And then offensively, we've seen both quarterbacks play well. Carmigiano and Menzel, who just got cleared today, able to go. Alsana has had a lot of space. He's ran hard behind a tough veteran offensive line. Carter Ochoa, special, doing things, several big receptions, leading the way with a big 45-yard touchdown reception. So Chandler High has been waiting for this moment to get here after a long physical fall camp, battling through the heat. A team that hasn't tasted a state title since 2020 or an open championship, and now they've heard the talk in some publications. We've heard from their great assistant coach in the pregame show. And in that conversation, we discussed maybe Chandler High possibly getting overlooked. And Michael Underwood, who coaches the safeties for this team says it's a good thing for the team to be in that position, to be overlooked, to be hungry. Puts a more of a fire inside of them. And Chandler High will kick off the second half, and back to receive number 3, Ferris Jenkins, as well as number 25, McKenneth Woodbury, or as his friends call him, MJ. So glad you can join us right here on the Chandler High Sports Network. The kickoff of Chandler High football this year. Paulo Hutchison on the live stream. Joe Pequeno on the call. It's going to be Aguilar kicking off. Aguilar will let this one fly. Back to receive is Woodbury inside the 10. Woodbury out past the 15, and he runs into a sea of black, and he gets taken down at about the 15-yard line. So the special teams, so good. This unit with so much speed and so much versatility really set the tone. Fantastic work right there. Colin Bottrell handles both the D-line and the O-line, also the special teams coordinator. And you can see the tremendous imprint his unit has had to start this second frame. So now it's the champions coming out with Penrod in the shotgun. Penrod, handoff, little reverse. Penrod running back wide open. Woodbury, and that's a good pickup inside the 30. Some trickeration by Cesar Chavez. Reverse handoff, and Penrod hits Woodbury for the big 16-yard pickup. Penrod inside of Ferris Jenkins. Jenkins out past the 40. A good, tough run by Jenkins. And now it's the champions coming out with a good 10-yard run. Ferris Jenkins, a sophomore running back. Miles Johnson, the senior, also providing depth there. Jenkins once again trying to pick his way, and that's just a great tackle by Chandler. Open field, Scooby Bradley just took his legs out, the senior. Bradley flying in fierce. Brings up a 2nd and 11 from the 40. Penrod, 3 wide receivers up top, 1 down below. Jenkins in the backfield. Chandler blitzing from the outside. Penrod just flicks it out in the flat. And that one could not be handled by Hodge. Just off the fingertips. Brings up a 3rd and 11 from the 40-yard line. Second half just underway from Austin Field. On a warm night here in the East Valley. Soon enough, in about 2 months, Mother Nature, it won't get any better. But in the meantime, got to flip on that AC. Jenkins joins Penrod. 2 wide receivers up top, 1 down below. Penrod, good snap over the middle. And the pass is incomplete. Looking for Hodge yet again. So it brings up a 4th down. Chandler defense holds yet again. Good job by the unit, setting the tone for the second half. And defensive coordinator Ryan DeRocher just told us, talked about the defense last year, giving up 17 points a game, said, look, wasn't good enough. Bottom line, these seniors on the team haven't won a championship. They don't know what it's like. They're anxious. They're hungry. Punt is dropped.
and running for his life and taking down Chandler. Jeremiah Flunder on the tackle on Nevin Reed. Reed, who faked and took off and got a first down late in the first half. This time the Wolves gave him no real estate to operate with. Flunder was there, reading it like a champ. Chandler High with great field position, starting at the Champions 32. Menzel going to work. Hulsana in the backfield. Ochoa at the bottom of your screen. And that right there, good work by Menzel on the hard count. And the Champions can't hold their composure. Tack on 5. Makes it that much easier for the Wolves. Ball gets moved to the 27-yard line. Menzel getting the call from the OC, Chad Carpenter. Hulsana in the backfield. Menzel working out of the shotgun. And that snap gets away. Menzel running for his life, and he's going to be dropped. Good pressure up front and good pursuit by the Champions after the ball was loose on the turf. David Mask, senior defensive lineman. Huge loss for the Wolves as they were knocking on the door. Now it's going to be a 2nd and 20 from about their 42-yard line. Menzel getting the signal. And looks like the Wolves might have to blow a timeout to get things in order. Menzel looking over at the sidelines, and the receiving corps just not on the same page, so they've got a timeout to play with. Why not get it in order? Of course, Menzel spent the bulk of the fall getting his snaps in, kind of waiting to see if it was going to be cleared or not by the AIA after transferring from Saguaro. Talking to OC Chad Carpenter today, he said he just got cleared today and he would get snaps. Looked like Carmigiano was going to be taking all the reps in this one, but they've rolled a 2-quarterback system, and tonight it has paid off. Menzel has thrown a touchdown. He's ran for another, and Carmigiano threw a perfect strike to Carter Ochoa for a 45-yard score. So they go back to work after the timeout with a 2nd and 20 from the 42. Receivers up top. Ormita as well as Span. Handoff inside. Hulsana works his way inside the 35. Gets some back. But still going to bring up a 3rd and long situation. Call it a 3rd and 12. Menzel, opportunity to move the sticks. Avoids the rush for a split second, and then he gets dropped. More pressure from the Champions. Big time rush. Bryce Moore, the defensive tackle, the junior, dropping Menzel. Brings up a 4th down. And Chandler High, believing in their defense, they're going to work it. Menzel, 3 wide receivers up top to work with. Good snap. Buying time to his left. Fires downfield. He's got a target. And that's going to move the sticks. Good pitch and catch. Elias Gutierrez on the reception, the senior. So Rick Garrettson, a little bit of a riverboat gambler, rolling the dice and coming up snake eyes on 4th down. And Chandler High with the football at the 15-yard line. Quick pass in the flat. Ormita, room to roam, and Ormita. They call it a touchdown, but a flag is down. Hold everything.
And you can just see how fast Skylar Ormita is. Got the ball, put the jets on, and was a bolt of lightning. But that's going to come back, and that's going to be against the Wolves, holding against Chandler. But that's just a glimpse of the speed Skylar Ormita brings to the table. That's why you see him on special teams on punt returns. So it's going to push the Wolves back as we close in on 8 minutes left in this third quarter. Wolves with a 20-6 lead. Down on the bottom of your screen is Ormita. Ormita in the slot. Elsana in the backfield. Ormita and another penalty. And that's going to be a false start against the Wolves. So that is also the bumps and bruises when you rotate two quarterbacks as well. A quarterback can't get a feel for the game and have the precise timing with his offensive unit. So it brings up a long yard situation, and ball is on the turf. And right now it's a scrum down below. And it's the champions that come up with it. The champions force the fumble, and they make the big second half play to stay in this one. And now they've got a player down on the turf as well being looked at. He's being helped up, and that's number 4, Mickey Hodge, working his way off the field, but the champions come up with a big play and get the turnover. Both sides talking it over, and we'll take a break here from Austin Field. So the champions get the big turnover. The bad snap led to the Wolves going backwards, and they could never recover, fumbling inside their 30-yard line. Actually, the Wolves never lost the football on that play. They throw the pass down the field. Menzel with the pass play to the 15-yard line. Referees signal the ball going the other way, but instead, Wolves hold on to the football. Apologize for that. Brings up a third down. 3 wide receivers down below. Man in motion is Ochoa. Helsana in the backfield. Menzel. Big rush, and Menzel going down. Big time bodies getting it done. Led by David Mask, the senior defensive lineman. So the champions not backing down, refusing to give in. David Mask grabbing Menzel and bringing him to the turf. So now it's 4th down. They gambled last time, and the Wolves are going to do the same again. 3 wide receivers down below, back in the backfield. Menzel, good snap. Big time rush. And Menzel's going down. Champion stepping up yet again. Big pressure. Amari Bell with another sack. Bell had a sack in the first half and does it again. And the champions avoid a Chandler High scoring threat with stifling defense. So a little bit of a chess match as both defenses have held their own. Mason Penrod goes back to work. He's got his big play receiver Peyton Stokes upstairs. Ferris Jenkins. And Jenkins gets gobbled up at the bottom of the pile, coming up and making it happen once again. We've said his name early and often, and we're going to say it again. Great play by Jalen Robertson, senior defensive end. He's been all over the field. 2nd and 10 from the 27. 2 receivers up top, 1 down below. Penrod, shotgun. Stepping up, moves to his right. Under duress, being chased and big time pressure. He was feeling it. Just a good pursuit by Scooby Bradley, the senior from his defensive back position. An intentional grounding call against the champions. And the Wolves loss of down goes to a 3rd and forever. An opportunity for the Wolves to make a stop and potentially get fantastic field position. Champions coming out in the passing formation. Penrod, a little quick pass in the flat. Works to the outside and dropped. Marcus Newman on the quick pass, but that's going to be way short. And the Chandler High defense coming up yet again. They do their job after the offense surrenders the ball inside the 30-yard line. Skylar Ormita, young man with blazing speed, looking to turn it up. The junior wide receiver. Champions looking for a big punt to pin the Wolves deep, and this one right into Ormita. Makes one man miss. Ormita trying to turn the corner, and he is taken down. Good pursuit by the special teams unit. Jeremiah Curry, the junior linebacker, in on the tackle. Wolves with good field position at their own 44. 20-6. Chandler High over Cesar Chavez. These two teams trading defensive punches here in the second half, and a player is down for the Wolves being attended to. And it looks like they're working on the right calf, and it's a warm night. Could be some potential cramping out there. The training staff taking a look. Coach Garrison is out there. And while they attend to the young man, prayers to his family, we'll take a short time out. So on his feet and moving gingerly to the sideline, Yona Kupu had a sack, make that an interception earlier in this one. And the good thing is, maybe he just got a Charlie horse in that bottom half of his leg as he limps off. And that's good to see. Nothing structural, no kind of bad knee injury whatsoever. Young man comes from a football family. Orion, part of the football team. Also Another brother played here at Chandler High. Carmigiano now getting his second half opportunity, and that ball's on the turf. And the Wolves do fall on it, and not the way they wanted to start this possession. Bottom line, got to play clean. 20-6 ball game. Anything can happen still. So they get a pickup of 3 on it after coming up with a loose ball. Ochoa, bottom of your screen. Ormita in the slot up top. Gutierrez on the top of your screen. Holsan in the backfield. Carmigiano. Good snap. Time to throw. Downfield. Ochoa. And great play in the secondary by Cesar Chavez. It's Woodbury with a great play. Coming up big for Cesar Chavez. Woodbury, the senior, 5'10", $175. We saw him on the punt return earlier. Blanketing Ochoa in that sequence. Now 3rd and 7 from the 47. Handoff, Elsana trying to get outside. He's held up. And it all starts with number 10, Miles Johnson. Outside linebacker, had him by the ankles, and it's going to bring up 4th down. And you're Coach Garrettson right now. You're up 14 points, and your defense is playing well. Special teams might be the way to go, and they're thinking about that as we speak. And now there's an injured champion down on the field being attended to, and trainers are out and taking a look at the young man. And as they attend to him, we'll take a breather here on the Chandler High Sports Network. So the injured player being helped off, number 58, Samaj Rose, junior defensive lineman. So now the Wolves are in punting formation. Ochoa will let it rip. Woodbury back to receive. This one high and short, picked up by the up man. Takes it past the 30. And there was a flag and a whistle that stopped the play. So needless to say, you heard the whistles blow. Sometimes a little bit of some miscommunications going on. Needless to say, they spot the ball at the 30-yard line. The champions will come out. 2:57 left in the third. Still anyone's ball game. Cesar Chavez lost this game at home last year to the Wolves, 56-6. This year, more of a nail biter. Ferris Jenkins up the gut. Good, strong run. Call it a pickup of 8 on the play. This Champions team, they've got some veterans on that offensive line. And they certainly remember the beatdown they suffered last year. Jenkins, left side. Jenkins gets bottled up at around the 40-yard line. But enough for a first down that moves the chains. And we have another injured player on the field for Chandler High. Trainers are out taking a look. And that is number 22. Jacob Nager, junior strong safety. It's being looked at and looked like he just might have got a stinger or a little bit of a cramp on the lower part of his leg. It's walking it off, and that's a good thing. Once again, it's a very warm night. Make that Jordan Taylor on the injury as he's walking it off. Good to see the young man now walking back, trying to stretch it out. Gets back to the sidelines. We play on. 2:31 left in the third quarter. Whistle on the way. Penrod. They go back to Jenkins, and Jenkins running strong between his center and right guard. Call it a 3-yard pickup. A 2nd and 7 from the 39. With the champions committing to the run here. Not trying to be one-dimensional. Ferris Jenkins turns the corner yet again. Short pickup. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 5. Champions have to get to the 49-yard line for a first down. Penrod. One wide receiver up top, another down below. Jenkins in the backfield. They go right back to the run. And a great attacking effort by the Wolves at the point of attack. In on the fun, number 19, Jaden Arnold. Bringing the pressure. So 4th and 4 from the 46. Big play in this one. Penrod dropping back, time to throw, and connects to his receiver. Beautiful throw and catch. Peyton Stokes moves the chains. And the champions with a key first down on 4th down. As time is winding down in the third. 40 seconds left. Penrod, they go right back to the run. Ferris Jenkins moving forward for a short gain. But you have to like what Chandler Hovick has done here. Played some power footballs, made the Wolves defensive line work, and then Penrod finds his star receiver Stokes. All-purpose yards leader from a year ago, and Stokes on the beautiful catch. And that's going to wind down the third, and we've got a ball game from Austin Field. Champions driving with a 2nd and 8 from the 31 as we head to the fourth. Keep it locked, keep it loaded on the Chandler High Sports Network. Fourth quarter about to begin. Champions on the move with a 2nd and 8 from the 31. Down 20-6. Chandler Hovick, his team playing an inspired season opener on the road at Austin Field. Rick Garrison's defense been so good in the second half. Being tested. Champions powering the football with Ferris Jenkins and Penrod hitting a key 3rd down pass to Peyton Stokes. Now they run inside. Miles Johnson, their senior running back, trying to work the middle. Brings up a 3rd down from the 26-yard line. Champions. This might be 2-down territory. Penrod. He's got time to throw. Lets it fly. He's got a receiver, and that's going to be into the end zone for 6. Penrod fires a strike, and Peyton Stokes brings it in. And hold everything. The Champions not going away. There is a flag. But it looks like the touchdown will remain. And the penalty is after the touchdown. So it's Penrod to Peyton Stokes. 26-yard touchdown. Extra point. About to make this one interesting. And the officials will stop it down for a split second. As Stokes works his way off the field. Peyton Stokes has shown his big playability. And when you talk about Peyton Stokes, senior 6'4", $190. That's kind of the big, tall frame D1 coaches are looking for. And Stokes, almost part of a big play reception in the first half, just went off the fingertips that time. Penrod found Stokes on the go, and Stokes with room to play with for the 26-yard touchdown reception. And now the Champions are going for 2. So now it's a delay of game call, and that's going to be so disappointing. You come out of a quick huddle, and then you have a delay of game call when you're going for 2. But in fairness to Penrod, he loves to chuck it. He's got one back in the backfield. Penrod under duress, shooting for the right side, and that's going nowhere. Chandler High defensive line brought the pressure, and Penrod had to get rid of it under duress. So the Chandler defense comes up big. So now it's 20-12. And in that case, you got to wonder, you kick the extra point, it's 20-13, you're just down a touchdown. But, you know, for Chandler Hovick, he's going for it, right? His team, they went for a fake punt and made it happen early in the first half. Right there, the 2-point conversion. He's going for it. And you can't not fault him for laying everything out on the line here, trying to upset one of the best teams in the state. His team, regardless of the scoreboard, they've come out of this one and they've played their hearts out, and a lot to be proud of. They'll go back to Central Phoenix and realize that they got a team that can compete here in 6A and do some good work. Penrod, Stokes, Woodbury, a very tough, physical defensive line. They got a chance to make some noise. Now it's Chandler High having to go back to work. Chandler High gets the penalty. after the touchdown, so that moves the champions back to their 25. This one, little pooch. It's going to fall, picked up by the ump man, and that's a blazing hit. Coming high and coming hard, Tyvis Spencer. Sophomore free safety, laying the lumber. Wolves will take over at their 37-yard line. So now it's this veteran offensive line really has to impose its will. Led by that great offensive line, Logan Ray, Noah Swope, Isaiah Garcia, Quentin Real, Blake Spear. Menzel in the backfield. Holsana. Right behind him. Holsana, handoff, inside, bottled up. And now the champions playing inspired. Big tackle. Getting work from Hill Hullback. Sophomore linebacker, 6'3", 205. 2nd and 7 from the 40. One back in the backfield. Tight formation for the Wolves. Rolling to his right. Menzel throwing back the other way. And that's read in a big way by the champions. Another great, tight defensive read. This time, Bryce Moore, the junior defensive tackle. And there's a player down on the turf, number 54. David Mask, who has been so good in this one, the senior defensive lineman being checked out. Once again, it is a warm night. Cramps could be playing a factor, and as well as the intensity between these two teams. Young men taking some shots and trying to fight it off. Let the champion trainers do their work. So another good sign as the veteran defensive lineman, David Mask, walks off in his own accord. Now a 3rd and 9 from the 39 for Chandler High. Chad Carpenter, the OC, going to see what he's got dialed up on a big critical 3rd down situation with the champions pulling within 8. After the touchdown pass from Penrod to Stokes. Tight ball game, 10:23 left. Two wide receivers down below, one up top. Ormita in motion. Pass in the flat. Kept alive, and a huge first down. The pitch, the catch, and the physical run. Good play by the tight end, Davion Laudermilk. Young player with so much upside, 6'3", 235. Only one reception last year, but comes up big right there. Inside handoff, Helsana working it and moving the sticks yet again. Tough, powerful run by Helsana. And this is kind of the drive the Wolves need. One of those deflating drives, the big play on 3rd down. Helsana busting it between the tackles. Menzel goes back to Helsana, the senior. And Helsana doesn't get touched till he's about 5 yards in. A good pickup on 1st down. Helsana will step out. 2nd and 5, Wolves passing formation. 4 wide receivers up top, 1 down below. Menzel trying to draw the champions off, almost did. Checking with OC Chad Carpenter on the sidelines. Closing in on 9 minutes left in this second half. Menzel, good snap. Quick pass in the flat. Ormita turns the corner, has the first down. Ormita works his way down to the 20-yard line, but there is a flag down, and that could be offensive pass interference against Chandler High. We'll see what the calls are. And then there was another one dropped in the backfield as well. Referees are talking this one through. Holding call against Chandler. And a personal foul against Chandler. 2 calls against the Wolves. And that pushes them back all the way to the other side. Back to their own 46-yard line. Tremendous play. 2 critical calls as they were marching to the other side of the field. 2nd and 10 from the 46. 8:53 left. Menzel. And now another penalty against the Wolves. A false start. And the Wolves going back the other way. 8:51 left. And now Champions Nation on the other side. You can hear them. They're into this one in a big way. They've seen their Cesar Chavez boys come across town and put up a fight. 2nd and 31 from the 41. Menzel. Time to throw, and Menzel could not avoid the rush and could not escape the grasp of big Amari Bell, who does it again. Amari Bell, 3 sacks on the night. It's been everywhere. And it's going to be 3rd and forever. Chandler High has to be careful here. And you got to wonder if it just might be a screen pass. Menzel just hoping his receivers can break a play. And now another flag is down. Another false start against the Wolves. And now Wolves Nation getting restless, and rightfully so. Multiple false start penalties. The frustration is building. Menzel with 3 wide receivers down below, 1 up top. Good snap. Under duress, avoids the rush. Menzel downfield, finds his receiver. That's going to be way short. It's going to bring up a 4th down. Ochoa on the reception. So the champions come up big. They're feeling positive. They got the momentum. They've got all the juice. They got the electricity. Now it's the Chandler High defense going to have to go to work as we close in on 7 minutes left in this ball game. Woodbury back to receive. He's been electric for the champions. Now the whistle has blown. We have a timeout for Chandler High. They're going to discuss some things. They're going to regroup mentally, talk some things over on special teams, and special teams coach Colin Bottrell, who handles the O-line and D-line, has been so good with that unit. Special teams has played a great game, and right now in an 8-point ball game. Special teams critical on both sides. We saw Cesar Chavez in a critical situation decide to go for it for the 2-point conversion, and they failed, which now has made it an 8-point game. So Bottrell and the special teams unit with Carter Ochoa and all the gunners on that team ready to try to pull and bring down Woodbury. And Woodbury has shown just how electric he is in the open field. Almost returned a kick. He did, but was called back on a penalty against Champions in the first half. Ochoa sizing him up. Good snap. Knocks this one down the field. Woodbury won't even get a chance. And this one couldn't ask for a better punt. Ochoa comes up big, down at the 5-yard line. So if the Champions are going to tie this one up, they're going to have to go 95 big to make it happen. We appreciate you dialing us up on the Chandler High Sports Network. Paulo Hutchison on the live stream. Joe Pequeno on the call. Season opener from Austin Field on the brand new turf. Kyrene School District taking care of all the Chandler high schools, and Chandler High was one of the first to get the brand new turf field. Plays fast, plays electric. Penrod, shotgun. 2 wide receivers down below. They go inside, and Penrod on the fake. Little RPO, run pass option, and they had the Wolves fooled as everyone was biting on Ferris Jenkins. And Penrod shows what he can do. A big first down run, but a penalty against the Champions. Field position in this one so big as the Champions get pushed back. So it brings up a first down from the 12-yard line. Penrod, he's got Jenkins in the backfield. Stokes also on the field. Ferris Jenkins. Short pickup on the play. And right now, the clock in favor of the Wolves. Closing in on 6 minutes left in this one. Penrod getting the call from the sidelines. This Champions team has given the Wolves everything they could handle and then some in the season opener. 1 wide receiver up top, 1 down below. Penrod flicks it out to the right side, looking for Stokes, and that falls incomplete. It's going to bring up a 3rd down situation. And we've seen Penrod be so good on 3rd down situations. Can he connect yet again? Can he find Nevin Reed, number 1, or Peyton Stokes, number 5? And can the Chandler secondary come up big and the D-line keep Penrod off track? Big play, 3rd and 10 from the 12, 6:06 left. Wolves up 20-12. Penrod dropping back, fires, and he connects with Stokes. And Stokes moves the chains. Peyton Stokes. Big play connection. And the Wolves were very lucky that they didn't get a penalty for potential late hit or hit out of bounds. So now a 1st and 10 from the 30. 2 wide receivers up top. Ferris Jenkins working the right side. Jenkins turns the corner. Jenkins out past the 40, past the 50, into Chandler High territory, inside the 45. Ferris Jenkins has found life in his second half. And the champions get a big third down connection from Penrod to Stokes. Then it's Ferris Jenkins turning the corner for a big pickup. First down at the 43, 5:32 left. Chandler High having to dig deep here. Penrod will keep it. Penrod stays on his feet, works his way, and then takes a shot. And there's a late flag from the back judge. And the referees will talk about this one. Penrod took a shot at the point of attack, stayed on his feet, and took a big hit on the sidelines. Critical call on this one. The group doing a nice job calling this one with a pivotal call. Once again, your refs are Jeff Martin, your umpire Ken Adams. Headline, Tyler Hansen. Back judge is George Salagis. Side judge Kurt Gaidzentnar. And your field judge, Andrew Zabinski. Personal foul against the Wolves. And the champions are knocking on the doorstep. Stokes, bottom of your screen. Jenkins in the backfield. Penrod. Handoff. That time, Wolves stepping up. Aiden Brower in on the tackle. Brings up a 2nd and 10. No gain on the play. Winding down to 5 minutes left. This one turning into a thriller from Austin Field. Chandler High trying to hold off this pesky champions team. Penrod. Veteran leadership coming up big. Rolling to his right. Delayed handoff. Outside run. Woodbury. And Woodbury works his way to the 15, but there is a flag down and a player down for Chandler High. Being checked out is Scooby Bradley. Might have taken a block in the back. Referees will talk it over as Bradley is being looked at. Chandler High, as we look at this one. Penrod on a keeper after a long pass play to Nevin Reed. Menzel on the touchdown pass to Legander. Made it 7-6. Carmigiano on the 45-yard strike to Carter Ochoa. Menzel on a 15-yard keeper. And then in the second frame, it was Penrod to Peyton Stokes, a 26-yard touchdown. 20-12, and that is where we are right now. So here come the champions knocking on the doorstep, and the Wolves trying to defend their home turf, their brand new turf, and trying to get this season off the right way and trying to send Cesar Cesar Chavez, that is home with a W. Make home with a loss, I should say. Penrod. Chandler High. Penrod just goes up the middle. Works the way to the middle of the field. And he will have the first down. That moves the chains in a positive direction for the champions. So it's going to be first down from the 9-yard line. First and goal. 4 minutes left. Wolves defense looking for a big stop. And you got to wonder if Stokes is going to be a factor here on the bottom of your screen. Penrod. It's Ferris Jenkins turning the corner. Jenkins works his way, and Jenkins is in for the 9-yard touchdown. And the champions have pulled within 2. Ferris Jenkins has been a physical force running between the tackles, and that time he busted it outside. A 9-yard touchdown run. And the champions are a 2-point conversion away from tying this one up. And Wolves Nation right now on the stun side. And the cheerleaders calling for defense as the champions go for the 2-point conversion. Penrod has played a spectacular game for the champions. Stokes, bottom of your screen, and they call a penalty. And that's going to be a delay of game against the champions, and that's a killer right there. That'll push him back. And Penrod will go and talk this over. And Chandler High, Coach Ryan DeRocher, the DC, looking for a critical stop here with 3:49 left. An eternity to play here from Austin Field. Two wide receivers up top. Back in the backfield. Penrod. Good snap. Running for his life. Penrod flips to the end zone and cannot get it with any kind of force. And the Chandler defense comes up big. Big pressure. And applying it. Jaden Arnold. Good work by the versatile athlete. 20-18, 3:49 left. And now the Wolves offense has to go to work. Got to string some first downs together. And the last drive we saw from the Chandler offense basically imploded with false start penalties after false start penalties. Question is, who's going to come in at quarterback? Will it be Mensel or Carmigiano, the senior? Champions defense has played very well this second half. Keeping the Wolves out of the end zone. Keeping them scoreless. They've been physical at the point of attack. And right now, Chandler High preparing for the onside kick. And with Chandler Hovick, you have to prepare for that. And this one booted down the field and picked up by Skylar Ramita. So the champions look like they might go for the onside and set a little pooch. Chandler High has the ball inside their 30, their own 28, 3:46 left. A thriller in the opener from Austin Field. So glad you could join us. Paulo Hutchison on the live stream. A man with numerous cameras. One wide receiver up top, two down below. Halsana in the backfield. The veteran offensive line ready to go to work. Halsana straight ahead. Halsana busting it out past the 35. A gain of 7 on the play and a good start for the Wolves as they look to work that clock and take every second off. And Carmigiano leading the offensive unit, the senior who's been here, who's worked his way, been part of numerous veteran teams. 15 seconds on the play clock. Carmigiano trying to draw the champions offside. Champions don't bite. Play clock down to 5. Carmigiano. Play clock at 1. Just gets it off. Halsana that time met in the backfield. The champions loud and proud, bringing the heat. David Mask, yet again, he was on the turf a short time ago, brought the pressure. Critical 3rd and 5 from the 35. Chandler High desperately needing a first down. 2 wide receivers up top, 2 down below. Halsana in the backfield. Carmigiano. And we've got a timeout for the Wolves. One to talk over. And while they take a timeout, we'll take one upstairs. Wolves leading the upset-minded champions 20-18. 2:18 left here in the 4th. Season opener for Chandler High right here on the Chandler High Sports Network. So here we go. Big 3rd and 5 from the 34. Carmigiano out of the timeout. Tight formation. 2 wide receivers down below. 2:18 left. Ormita in motion. Carmigiano throws it in the flat. And that is going to be a first down. Laudermilk moves the chains. The big physical tight end. Only 1 reception last year. Comes up big on 3rd down yet again. Big call and a big play by the Wolves. And they are milking every second. Now under 2 minutes left in this one. Leading 20-18. 15 on the play clock. Tight formation. Halsana in the backfield. Play clock. Now motion on the offensive line. Carmigiano just gets it off. And a good hard run yet again. Still on his feet. Halsana busting it down to the 40. But a flag is down. Good hard physical run by the senior, who has shown his big time talent in this one. Referees will talk it over. Fans think it's a face mask call. Personal foul, and that is exactly what it is. Tack on more for the Wolves. Halsana pounding his helmet and getting it done. Ball worked all the way to the 25. $1:28 left. And now it's a timeout for the champions. They've got to talk things over. They played such a great game, but on a critical 3rd and 5, Carmigiano finds Laudermilk, and then Helsana running hard and physical. Champions defensive coordinator Lewis Redmond gathering his troops to talk about a critical $1:28 left. And Chad Carpenter, the OC for the Wolves, talking to his young men and galvanizing his team, realizing this is where championship offensive lines really set the tone. And Helsana showing his worth, running behind a veteran O-line group on that tough physical run. Tack on 15 more with a personal foul call on the face mask. 1st and 10 from the 25, $1:28 left. Chandler up 2. Carmigiano, Helsana, left side. Helsana inside the 20, inside the 15, down inside the 10. Tristan Helsana running hard, physical, and with a purpose. And the Wolves are on the move. Behind the big boys in the trenches, making some big noise and knocking the champions off the ball. Ball is placed. Call it the 10-yard line. $1:18 left. Carmigiano, Helsana running hard and strong. They go right back to him. Helsana in the middle of the field. Helsana walks into the end zone, and that's going to do it. The senior, scintillating, drives it forward, the 10-yard touchdown run. And that will do it as the Wolves escape the champions' upset threat. Helsana, the 10-yard touchdown run, and the Wolves now up 26-18. Extra point from Aguilar. Still to come. Championship drive, but a lot of work to be done by this offensive unit. Extra point up, and the extra point is good. 27-18. The Wolves go the length of the field on a championship drive. The keys. Carmigiano hits Laudermilk on 3rd and 5. Helsana busts a 10-yard run, got the face mask. Then Helsana with a 10-yard touchdown run. And the senior showing what he can do in the starting role. Ran for a 32-yard touchdown run against Cesar Chavez last year and runs for a 10-yard touchdown run this season. $1:13 left. Chandler up 27-18 on the brand new turf. Opening night here at Austin Field. They've been knocked around, but they picked themselves back up off the ropes, and they laid the dagger as Helsana dances in. Tristan Helsana, senior running back, 5'10", 200 pounds. Running hard between the tackles. Now the Chandler faithful starting to work their way to the doors. Remember, tip your bartenders and waitresses on your way out. $1:13 left. A little squib kick down the field, and this will trickle out of bounds. They don't want Woodbury touching it whatsoever. So electric. So for Coach Rick Gerritsen and his team, Chad Carpenter, the OC, DeRochers, the DC. A lot to look at for this team. A lot of talent has to be harnessed. They escape with a 27-18 win. Still $1:13 left. Some time for Cesar Chavez to make something happen. Nothing is over until it's over. But Chandler High might have dodged a bullet in the season opener. They'll reflect on this one, look at the tape, and figure out how to get better. They're back at it next week against Mountain Ridge. Mountain Ridge opens the season tomorrow night at Towson. Andy Johnson and his team, 3-7 last year. Chandler High won that matchup last year big. Aguilar on the kickoff. Squibs it down. Up man will take it. Works his way and gets dropped inside the 35. Wolves defense. Moments of greatness and moments of concern. Champions the interior of their defensive line, really, or the interior of the offensive line, I should say, really did a nice job making Chandler work and giving Ferris Jenkins room to roam and Mason Penrod opportunities down the field. But for the Wolves, good to be tested early and find out what you're all about. Facing a little adversity in the first game. It's how you build character. It's find out who can handle the pressure when the game is real. Penrod from his own 33. And they work in the backup quarterback. Penrod is out. They work in the backup, the lefty. Glenn Ermish, senior quarterback, 5'10", buck 85. So Chandler Hovick, he knows what he's got in his starting quarterback, Mason Penrod. Penrod, a sophomore, 6'2", 200 pounds, and Mason Penrod's got some game. Only a sophomore. A lot to build around for that young man. Hovick's going to ride this one out with his senior backup. A little pass in the flat. Ferris Jenkins. Jenkins into the secondary. Jenkins down close to the 45-yard line. And Ferris Jenkins has played a spectacular game. He's ran hard between the tackles. He's had the bursts of speed around the edges. Catch the football as well. We are winding down. Champions. Ermish takes off. And the clock stops with about 33 seconds left. So Rick Garrettson and his team will go back to work. They'll talk some things through, and no team on opening night do you expect to play perfect. There's always going to be some issues, especially in this scenario where you're rotating two quarterbacks. We've saw multiple false start penalties, and Garrettson and OC Chad Carpenter will have to go back to work to talk some things through. We saw some big plays from Carter Ochoa. Loudermilk, great on third down situations. Halsana ran like a beast, and the offensive line, powerful, strong. Great defensive performances as well. We saw it from some veterans. Xavier Sr., along with Jalen Robertson. Yona Koopa came up with the interception as well. So a lot to be proud of as Chandler Gilbert trying to kill the final 30 and change off the clock. Now it's 36 seconds. Glenn Ermish, the backup quarterback, trying to lead the champions to one more score. He's under duress, avoids the rush, and finally gets taken down. Bringing the heat in a big way. Powering through and showing what he can do. Xavier Sr., we talked about the great performance he's had. He's been all over the backfield in this one. And that is going to do it. The champions will just fall on the football. And Chandler High, opening night, they get pushed, but they stand loud and proud as they walk off with the 27-18 victory over the Cesar Chavez champions. Coach Gerritsen and crew rotating a couple quarterbacks. Some good moments offensively. Some good moments defensively. And some work to do as they'll look at the tape and figure out from here. As we look at the scoring recap, Mason Penrod early in the first quarter, deep bomb to Nevin Reed, set up a Penrod touchdown run. Extra point was no good. Then it was a Menzel touchdown pass. Lejander on the short throw. Lejander took it, made it 7-6. Rotating quarterbacks, Dominic Carmigiano on a perfect strike to Carter Ochoa. 45-yard touchdown, made it 14-6. Then Menzel on a broken play, 15-yard touchdown run, 20-6 at the half. But then it was the champions coming to life. Mason Penrod to Peyton Stokes on a 26-yard touchdown. 2-point conversion, no good. That made it 20-12. And then it was a Ferris Jenkins 9-yard touchdown. And that made it a 2-point game. 2-point conversion was no good. And then the Wolves finishing off, going the distance, a big third down pass play to Laudermilk that got the first down. Halsana on a big physical run, tacked on another 15 on the face mask. And then eventually Halsana with the 10-yard touchdown run. And the Wolves get the 27-18 victory. So they start 1-0, and next week they've got Mountain Ridge. And for the champions and Chandler Hovick, as they head back to Central Phoenix, a lot to be proud of. They came here and played a tremendous ball game. They have a good-looking young quarterback in Mason Penrod, a star wide receiver in Peyton Stokes, a versatile back in Ferris Jenkins, good physical players in the trenches. They're going to be a force in their league, and they could be a force in the 6A playoffs somewhere down the road. Rick Gerritsen and his team, a lot to be proud of. They faced adversity, a lot of young players under fire in their first outing in the varsity level, but they come up big and get the victory. And the bottom line is they defended home turf, and now they move on to take on Mountain Ridge. Mountain Ridge, a squad that struggled last year, a record of 3-7. Chandler High took care of them last year, beating them 49-7. Mountain Lions open Friday at Tolleson, led by head coach Andy Johnson. And I'm going to go to the other side of town and take that one in and get a good look at the Mountain Lions first half. And we appreciate all of you joining us for the season opener of Chandler High football. For Jim Culver, the AD, and all the good people on the campus of Chandler High, for Coach Gerritsen and his great coaching staff, all the great players and the fans and the student body here off Arizona Avenue. For Paulo Hutchinson, who does such a tremendous job with the live stream. I am Joe Pequeno. Once again, a good night for the Wolves. They battle, they get knocked around, but they remain the last team standing, knocking off Cesar Chavez 27-18. We'll see you next week when the Wolves take on